Did you know even in a 10 or 15 mile per hour fender bender or auto accident, it can cause hidden injuries that you might not feel for weeks or months later? Many times you will think the car was barely scratched, I'll be fine. But the truth is, your body absorbs the force of that accident and you may not feel it right away. Hi, I'm Dr. Adamid, and I want to go over what whiplash is and how it affects your body and why most people don't realize they've been injured till much later. And more importantly, how chiropractic care can help you recover, heal properly, and protect yourself from long-term problems and chronic pain. So let's get started with the basics. Whiplash happens when your head suddenly snaps forward and backwards in an auto accident, kind of like cracking a whip. This rapid motion strains and sometimes tears ligaments, muscles, and even the joints in your neck. The most common symptoms people experience are neck pain, stiffness, headaches, dizziness, and many times pain that radiates into their shoulders or down their shoulder blades, or even down their arms, causing numbness and tingling to their hands and fingers. You might also notice difficulty concentrating, trouble sleeping, or even a general sense that things don't feel great. But what really surprises most people is that those symptoms don't show up right away. In fact, you may walk away feeling perfectly fine, and then days later, weeks later, or even months later, you start noticing pain, the headaches show up, and a loss of mobility or kind of a crick in your neck that just won't go away. I've had patients come into my office who were in car accidents sometimes 6 to 12 months earlier. And at the time, they felt fine, many times, even if the car was totaled. But then pain starts to show up, headaches start to begin, and they start waking up with a stiff neck every morning. And they realized it all started after that crash. So, why does this happen? Well, think of your spine like a stack of building blocks, one on top of the other, with nerves running between them. A whiplash will cause those bones of your neck to misalign. And without normal alignment, there's strain on the muscles and ligaments, and now there's pressure on your nerves. And those nerves are very sensitive and they cause a lot of pain. The other issue is that you can look at this from the standpoint of a paper clip. If you took it and bend it back and forth, the first few bends, it wouldn't break, but the structure weakens and eventually it fails. That's what untreated whiplash is and what it does to your neck overall. At first, you might have some mild soreness, but over time, that damage builds. Scar tissue starts to form, and the normal curve that is in your neck with great posture, it may straighten or even bend and reverse the wrong way. And then years later, you could be dealing with arthritis, disc degeneration, chronic stiffness, and nerve pain, all because of an injury that wasn't corrected properly from the beginning. So here's how chiropractic can help. This is where we come in. When someone comes in to me after an accident, we just don't ask where does it hurt. We do a full evaluation, checking your range of motion, looking at nerve function. We do specific x-rays that show us what's working and not working, as well as your overall spinal alignment. Many times, hidden problems show up during these tests that didn't appear during a quick checkup in the ER. Most people find is that these gentle chiropractic adjustments help restore normal movement in their spine. It reduces pressure off your nerves and allows the soft tissues, those muscles and ligaments, to heal the right way without being stuck in that misaligned position. The sooner we start correcting these changes, the better chance of a full recovery and avoiding long-term complications. Many individuals in auto accidents, upwards to 30 to 50%, end up with some form of chronic pain for the rest of their life. Here's the good news, though. In many auto accident cases, your care is most likely covered by the insurance of an auto claim. This means you can get the treatment you need without worrying about paying anything right out of pocket. So there are also some things you might be able to start at home. While you're recovering, there are some simple things that can make a little bit of difference to ease up your pain and help you along the way. First, really is to stay mobile. Gentle neck range of motion movements, like slowly turning your head left and right, nodding up and down, they can keep that stiffness from settling in and getting worse over time. Second, use ice, not heat, especially during those first 72 hours after the accident. Ice will help reduce inflammation, decrease pain many times, while heat can actually make swelling worse early on. Of course, these are just supportive steps, not a replacement for proper care, but they can make recovery a lot smoother. So overall, here's the takeaway. If you've been in an auto accident, Whether it was last week, last month, or over the last year, don't ignore it. Even in a low speed collision or a minor fender bender, it can create hidden whiplash injuries that lead to long term problems if they're left untreated. Here at Well Health and Chiropractic, we specialize in helping auto accident patients recover fully, get back to living pain free, and avoid the chronic problems that develop with the injuries that were once overlooked. If you've recently been in an auto accident or you've been dealing with these symptoms after starting that crash, I encourage you to call the office or really schedule the appointment with the link today for that full evaluation. Let's make sure your spine is protected, your nerves are functioning properly, and you're truly on a full plan for recovery. Once again, I'm Dr. Adamid. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to helping you make the next step towards better health.